When we saw Claressa Shields had a movie coming out on Christmas Day, we had to go see it. As boxing fans, mixed with the fact that Claressa is the best female in the game, then the movie coming out on Christmas Day, hey, it just made sense. The Fire Inside is the name of the movie. It tells the story of Claressa Shields, aka T-Rex, from Flint, Michigan, back-to-back Olympic gold medalist. She won her first at only 17 years old, making history as the first American female boxer to do it. We're talking about the 15-time world champion, 5 different weight classes, 3-time undisputed champ. With so many firsts, she's doing a lot for women's boxing, performing at a high level. Now, she's been making the blogs for the wrong reasons lately. She really didn't need that Papoose and Remy situation. One week she was talking about boxing Remy, then the next week she wanted to fight everybody over Travis Hunter, defending him like a little brother. When side note, nobody's bullying Travis. It's his fiance that's disrespecting him, embarrassing him, and causing all this negative publicity sparked by her own behavior. And it's Travis out here crashing out, talking out the side of his neck to fans, and basically anybody looking out for him. Claressa can definitely beat Remy, although 50 Cent believes Claressa should leave that alone because Remy won't be out here fighting with her hands. But in a fair fight, Remy obviously won't stand a chance against the greatest female boxer in the game. On the other hand, Claressa trying to take on the whole internet for Travis Hunter is a losing battle because even though she's undefeated, the internet is also undefeated. But still, none of the negative publicity got in the way of us going to see this movie on Christmas Day, and I have to say, overall, her story was great. Claressa's name was being mentioned a lot leading up to her movie release. I just wish she had more publicity. If I was running her campaign, I would have definitely had her everywhere. In my opinion, her best interview pre-release was with Andre Ward. She had the best interview with him. But the movie showed her come up from the gritty streets of Flint, Michigan to becoming the first American woman to win an Olympic gold medal in boxing. The Fire Inside is the inspiring story of one boxer's fight to not just break records, but break barriers. Ryan Destiny, who's also from Michigan, played Claressa. Ryan is from Detroit. Claressa is from Flint. They're both 29 years old. She did a phenomenal job. Brian Tyree Henry played her coach, Jason Crutchfield. He also did a phenomenal job. If he was busy and couldn't make it, Corey Holcomb could have played that role too, but he's not clicked in with Hollywood. Jason was depicted as serious, but he also had a lot of funny moments too. But yeah, again, Ryan and Brian both did a great job in the movie. I really like this for them. Now, the narrative delves into Claressa's journey as she trains for the 2012 Summer Olympics, where she became the first American woman to win an Olympic gold medal in boxing at only 17 years old. Beyond her athletic achievements, the film explores the societal challenges and financial struggles she faced pre- and post-Olympics. If you see this movie, it's definitely going to give you a better understanding of how Claressa grew up, the obstacles she had to overcome to win her first medal at 17 years old, and even the struggles she faced after winning that first gold medal. She literally had to fight to get to every stage in life because she had a lot of forces trying to pull her back the whole time. Most of it came from her own family. Her mother being the biggest issue. Claressa's mother reportedly struggled with alcoholism and addiction. She said when her mom was drunk, sometimes she would become physically abusive to her, but she would never hit her mother back. She also said her mom used to take the food stamps collected from the state for the purpose of feeding her children and would sell those stamps to buy drugs instead. The two biggest criticisms I have about the movie. I understand that everything can't be depicted in 100 minutes. However, I think the real narrative of Claressa's dad being left out is my biggest issue with the movie. They showed him, but the way they did it just wasn't right. And they left out her grandma completely. Both of these individuals were very instrumental in Claressa's life, along with her coach, Jason. And they did a great job showing Jason's sacrifice, his hard work and dedication that ultimately made Claressa who she is today. He was her teacher and her motivator. The problem is, the movie depicted Claressa's dad like he had no hand whatsoever, when in reality, he's the reason Claressa was interested in boxing in the first place. It was her father, Clarence Shields, who she's named after, that piqued her interest in the sport. You see, Clarence, he went to prison when Claressa was a toddler, so she didn't have a relationship with him until she was 9 years old, after he was released. That's when she started spending time with her father, who was a former amateur boxer and underground fighter. He taught Claressa about Muhammad Ali and his daughter, Layla Ali. It was Claressa seeing Layla Ali fight that made her realize that women can fight too. However, her father believed that boxing was a men's sport, which honestly it was and it still is today, and back then he just didn't want his daughter fighting. But after asking over and over and negotiating with her dad, Claressa's father agreed to pay for her membership to the boxing gym for a year. He told her she can't get beat up the first day and quit. She would have to at least get his money's worth and stick it out the whole year before she gave up.
Hi, Dad.
Thank you so much for coming. Incredible night of boxing.
Hold on. You want to say something? Okay. Fede, bring your granddaddy up here. Go ahead. Fede, hand it to your granddaddy.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've been trying to tell the world this for about 20 years. When you was a baby, I think you was about 1.5, I used to sit you on my knee, and I used to throw punches with your hands. So, God, I didn't do that with you be thinking you was gonna become a fighter. Because the first time you said something to me about fighting, I told you, hell no, you look too good for that.
That's what he said. My daddy been telling me I was fine. I was with you at the box. He been telling me that.
And then about 3 weeks later, I took her down. I went down to the gym, and I talked to some guys. I said, who the best trainer down here? They said, Jason Crutchfield.
Yep.
So, when I filled the paper, I didn't fill the paper out. I had her to fill her own paper out. I signed it though. And then we went downstairs, and I gave her a paper to Jason. I want you to train my daughter.
So not only did Clarence Shields used to fight, but he shared his passion for boxing with his daughter, which is why she ultimately got into it. We're talking about a sport she didn't even know about until her dad introduced her. My problem is all that I just told you wasn't in the film at all. Instead, they made it seem like her dad was just some deadbeat that only came around when she started winning fights and was on her way to the Olympics, which is not true. Her dad was the reason she was fighting in the first place. He told her about boxing and eventually signed her up at 11 years old, so he didn't just pop up out of nowhere when she was 16. He came into her life when she was 9 and was there ever since, signing her up for boxing just 2 years later. It was really her mother that wasn't as supportive in the beginning and would send her children out hungry after selling food stamps, then having parties at the house. When Claressa had to get up early in the morning for training, she even kicked her out the house. And yeah, they did include that Claressa was violated by one of her mother's male friends when she was only 5 years old, but they completely left out Claressa's grandmother, who raised her as a child after the state took Claressa from her mother because of the abuse she experienced at her mother's house. It was her grandmother who kept her safe until she got to high school, who taught her everything from cooking to the Word of God. It was her grandmother who really instilled values and discipline in her as a child before she met her dad and he got her into boxing, where her coach Jason built her up and got her to the Olympics. They did include how Jason was first hesitant about training Claressa because she was a girl. Initially, Jason and Clarence Shields were both reluctant, but after that first year at the gym, Claressa continued to show interest and they continued to invest in her. That's her coach and her father. Now, they didn't leave out the feminist rhetoric. They made sure to include that part about how her coach Jason didn't want to coach a girl, or how women boxers didn't get paid as much attention or money. And throughout the movie, they kept highlighting the pay gap and gender inequality between male and female boxers, while glossing over that white women would get endorsement deals that Claressa wouldn't get, although she was better than them. Ultimately, though, I believe the reason for this is not the lack of men supporting boxing, but the lack of support from women, and I'll get into that in a minute. But the movie showed how she had financial struggles even after her historic win at the 2012 London Olympics. Despite her groundbreaking achievement, Claressa did not receive the financial windfall or endorsement opportunities she anticipated. After winning the gold medal, she returned to her hometown of Flint, Michigan, where she was still struggling. It also didn't help that she had so much pressure on her to support her mama, who couldn't pay her bills. She also had to support her younger sister that was a teenager busy having baby after baby. She basically took care of her sister's kids financially, and even now, her sister is ungrateful, but that's another story. Over the years, Claressa has openly addressed the financial disparities in boxing, advocating for equal pay and more support for women in the sport. But I really believe, just like the WNBA, the issue is not men's lack of support for female athletes. It's really only men who support them in the first place. The problem is other women are not interested in these sports. They're not real fans. So the numbers and the eyeballs are not there because women don't support women. The only time women fake like they support each other is when feminists band together against men. But outside of that, women are not showing up by the thousands to support female boxers like Claressa, or WNBA players like Angel Reese or Asia Wilson. I'm sorry, but IG comments in the shade room is not real support. Although I think the movie was really good, it would have been even better if the writer told the truth about her father's influence on her boxing career instead of making it seem like he was just as trifling as her mother. You know, if the mother was looking bad, which she was in real life, when she was drinking, neglecting Claressa and her siblings, not only abusing Claressa, but also allowing others to do it. Because the mom's part was depicted accurately, it wasn't a good look, so they had to level it out by making it look like the father was conniving too. Like he just showed up out of nowhere to the boxing gym when she was 16 years old and failed to show that he was how she got there in the first place. They also left out grandma, who was influential as well. I didn't like that. But overall, again, the movie was really good. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know below if you're going to see the movie, or if you already saw it, tell me what you think about it. I want to send a special thank you to Starlet. Starlet, you know I always appreciate you for your support for the channel, as well as Charles H., Dark Power, Shauna, Kennedy, and Edmund. If you want to show your support for the channel too, you have to use PayPal for now. The link is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.